Noguera, Mayor Alex Toy, Ikang Uy, Acordeonio, Moreno. I'd like to thank especially Father Jeff Villarin. The deans gave me some reminders to touch on certain topics a little later. Members of the faculty, non-teaching staff, and to all the students, thank you for this Xaverian welcome to a fellow Xaverian. And good afternoon. Hindi siguro ninyo alam, or for those who do not know, I graduated from Xavier in San Juan, in Manila, Xavier School, San Juan, which is also, it is now under the Philippine province of the Jesuits, but during the time when we graduated, it was still under the China province. So we were taught Chinese unsuccessfully though, and probably with Oka and the like, we shared certain teachers and priests. But nevertheless, our moral groundings are the same. We are taught to be men and women for others. Now, normally I just spend a few minutes, and since you gave me such a warm welcome, I'll spend a little bit of time discussing issues. Yesterday, we were with your brothers and sisters in the Ateneo de Davao. There was a Mindanao Business Council Integrated Part of the Philippines multi-sectoral presidential forum specifically in Mindanao. And so a lot of issues were raised regarding the views of each candidate of Mindanao. But later on that. First, what are the problems that your country faces? Number one, there is political disharmony. There is cultural diversity, which is a problem and a positive, depending on how you handle it. It is an archipelago. 7,000 islands is a administrative and managerial nightmare if you do not have the right kind of infrastructure. Agriculture sector and the rest of the Philippines is vulnerable to climate change. You have a big population, admittedly, and you have resources which are not regenerating. Your forests are, who knows? You know, our forest cover, who can give me a straight answer as to what percentage of total land area is your remaining forest cover? The answer is nobody knows, because there has been no accurate mapping of the remaining forest cover of the country. So estimates run from 3% to 15% of your total land area. But one thing is sure, the Philippines is the center of marine biodiversity. In biological wealth, you have 10 times more biological diversity than the Galapagos Islands, from where Darwin studied the theory of evolution, but it's fast dwindling. It's fast dwindling. You have a multicultural and varied population. Now, what are the opportunities and the pluses? You have a very intelligent population. You have an adaptable people. You have multicultural influences, and you have the best looking natural resources in the whole world, comparable to none. So the challenge now is, what do you need to do to tap your human capital, your natural capital, and your international capital? Let's not forget, the Philippines is an archipelago, and it certainly cannot survive on its own. Do the numbers. Although in total area we have one of the largest total areas in Southeast Asia, we have one of the smallest land areas in Southeast Asia. Although our land area of how many million hectares is equivalent to Thailand, Thailand's hectarage is flat land suitable for food production, while the Philippines is not flat. So you have vulnerables, you have challenges. Now, what specific issues face any government? The current time, you're in a crisis management mode. Why? Because there was La Nina last year and El Nino this year. So your food security is down very, very much. We import 10% of our rice requirements, but still we are the largest importer of rice in the world. For the reason being that our population is growing, and number two, the per capita consumption of rice of Filipinos is increasing. That's why our waistlines are getting a little bit larger for those that can afford. And for those that cannot afford, they can barely meet the minimum requirement of carbohydrate inputs, particularly in conflict-affected areas. You have a country where your infrastructure, your roads, bridges, seaports, and airports are way, way, way below par for your neighbors. I talked about building bridges between islands before, and people laughed at me. Look at Hong Kong, look at Malaysia, their causeways are very, very low, and the amounts are outstanding. And why is this important? Because we live in a competitive world. We do not live on our own island. Secondly, there is multicultural conflict in this country. Hopefully not religious. Hopefully not religious. I think our differences, we know here in Mindanao, our differences are not because of religion. It's because of culture, it's because of clashes between urbanization and development, and keeping our traditional values, and lastly, it's because of land. The bottom line is land and opportunities. Fourthly, we have to take care of our people in terms of health. And with the Dean of Nursing told me a while ago, can you say a little bit about health and what your nurses are? There's only one solution to healthcare in this country. That is to introduce a universal, mandatory, participative system of healthcare. Both private sector and public sector must be included. The target will be 100% coverage for all people, and the target will be to leverage capital raised from that, not only for medicines, not only for equipment, but also for reimbursing our healthcare professionals so that they don't need to go. Now, what is the challenge? The challenge in healthcare, we spend about 2% of our GDP on health, 2.4% to be exact. The rest of ASEAN spends 3 to 4%. You will include Thailand, which has active intervention in other items of healthcare you do not want to talk about in this university. The WHO recommends that we have 5% of GDP. But in order to catch up, we need to spend an amount equivalent to 7%. Now, what's the challenge? Healthcare systems are difficult to manage and they're risk-prone. America, how many percent of GDP do they spend on healthcare? Anybody else guess? They spend 14% of GDP on healthcare, but still they can't get it right. So that's the challenge. Now, can we increase our healthcare spending to 3 to 4% of GDP? Can we? Where will we get the money from? Taxes? Pork barrel is only even less than 1 million pesos a year.